Hey everybody, so I wanted to explain to you a little bit better about what we're going to do for our line project, and you're going to have one of these for all 7 elements of art. So it's basically going to be a double spread. Turn this light off, you can see it a little better. It's basically going to be a double spread where you'll have kind of just a visual journal almost about the element of art, and then we'll have some sort of project that will demonstrate your understanding of that element. And we're going to tick through all 7 elements, and that will kind of lead us into our main projects once we have the tools that we need to create some artwork. Okay, so this is going to get us ready to create some finished pieces of artwork. So what we're doing with line is we're going to show that you can show movement with straight lines, and there's tons of ways that you can do that. The other thing I want you to take note of is that when lines get closer together, it changes the darkness and lightness of what you're seeing. So it will kind of trick your eye into making things look like they curve or move. Over here, I'm going to give you a little list of things I want you to tell me about line or define about line. You can Google them. It's not rocket science. It's asking, I'll ask you 4 or 5 different kinds of lines I want you to show. Tell me what a contour line is, or expressive line, or crosshatch. If you don't know any of those things, you can look at some of your notes from some of the stuff that we talked about last week. You may have not taken any notes, that's okay. But it won't be difficult. But I want you to do it in a creative way. I want you to show me a contour line. You know about that because you've been, we did those blind contour portraits and things like that. So I'll give you a little list of things I want you to include. You can do it however you want. You could do all of yours in straight line with a ruler if you wanted to. As far as laying out your composition, you can decide, the line weight and how thick something is or how thin something is. It's totally up to you. There's probably 5 million ways that you could lay out this explanation page of line. For this one over here, we're going to kind of break it down into a very simple format. And I made a little stop action video. This will not take you that long. This whole project here should not take you very long at all. You could probably knock it out rather quickly because we'll be moving on to shape in a couple of days. So we're not going to spend a ton of time on this. But I would do it in my sketchbook. If you want to go ahead and section off the number of pages you'll need for all the elements, or if you just want to skip around in your sketchbook, that's totally fine too. It's up to you. So the way that you lay this page out is you are going to start with just a curved line, and I guess I should draw it a little bit darker. You don't even have to do it in pencil first. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Then you're going to double up that line and just be real loose with it. You probably can't even see what I'm doing, so I just did like a curved line. And then you're going to use the ruler that was in your kit, or any ruler that you have really. And I would probably just use a ballpoint pen. A Sharpie's going to be too thick. If you have a micron pen, you could use that, or if you have some other kind of thin pen, you could do it with a pencil. I think it looks a little more finished with a pen, and I'm talking about a ballpoint pen that you have in your junk drawer. You don't have to get like a special ink pen of any sort. You can outline this pencil line, and really you could have drawn it really lightly, and then just, you won't even see. Come here. My cat wants to draw this with us. And then in between the curves, you're going to start right out here on the edge, and you are going to make straight lines. Pull it so that your ruler is moving away from your lines. It is going to rub some of that ink across your work, and it was doing that to me earlier, and it was really frustrating because I had a nice clean page, and if you look closely at mine, you can see where the ink rubbed across it. So experiment around a little bit, make some of your lines close together, then space them out just a little bit more. You're going to need a bunch of lines in between here, and the key to kind of making this look like it has some vertical edges to it is to stop right here on this top edge. You don't have to go all the way to the bottom. Like on this one, I'm gonna stop before I get to that next line. But right here on the top edge, I don't want to stop. I want it to touch that line. But it doesn't have to go all the way down, okay? Are y'all following me so far? Okay. You'll go through and you'll do all of that. To finish it out, you're going to put some horizontal lines. They do not have to be uniform. They can try out your line quality. See if you can make, with the same pen, some lighter lines, some darker areas because the lines are closer together, and just kind of play around with what you can do even with just a simple pen as far as getting shading involved in that. Okay, I'm going to also play for you the time lapse so you can see how it all kind of came together, and I'm telling you, it really will not take you that long once you get started. So section off where you're going to work, do your curved line, use your ruler for the straight lines. Practice doing that. If you don't make straight lines often with a ruler, make sure you're holding it so that it doesn't move. Don't hold it up here so that it's floppy. Hold it with your fingers with the hand that you don't write with. And just slide it along. Make sure your pen is touching the ruler. The crisp, clean lines of this is what makes it look so, kind of like an optical illusion, so impressive because you've made it all with straight lines, except for the initial curved line, okay? So try and do your best to make the lines as straight as you possibly can, and just kind of play around with it and see what you end up with. I think you're going to be happy with the end result, okay? So if you have any questions, you can let me know, and check out the time lapse and see how it goes.